नमस्कार, मैं प्रिया आप सभी का फिर से स्वागत करती हूँ हमारे 5 डेस्टिनेशन फेस टू फेस पे। आज हमारे साथ मौजूद है चेन्नई से एक बहुत ही जाने माने एस्ट्रोलॉजर श्री 𝗪𝗵𝘾𝙀 जी। चलिए आप सभी का उनसे मुलाकात करवाते हैं। नमस्कार रघु जी।
Namaskar.
Yeah, welcome to our 5 डेस्टिनेशन।
Thank you, ma'am.
So how are you feeling that you've been selected as top 5 astrologer in Chennai?
Very good, I would say, because there's a good response so far I've received from many people, because nowadays people search through online who's the best amongst the city, and they would like to have good reviews, and they would like to go for the best of everything in that. So in that sense, I think I'm fortunate to have associated with 5 Best in the City, and I think I've benefited by that as well.
Raghuji, it's been how many years that you're running this agency called AstroSri?
AstroSri started in 2000. I think, yeah. I would say like online astrology areas I started in 2008. So it was earlier myastrology.in, and then I changed to astrosri.com. But I have been practicing Vedic astrology, Jyotisha Shastra. That's the right word for it. I think it's more than 25 to 27 years. I've been doing a lot of research in this area. Right from a young age, I had a natural interest on this subject.
Yeah.
Started with palmistry, a little bit of Vedic astrology, then learned under different masters, gurus, and I did a diploma in 𝗪𝗵𝘃 University about on Vedic astrology, and then I've been practicing so far so good. It's been quite good. Yeah.
Okay, you're involved in this astrology since 25 to 27 years.
Yes. I think more than that. Right from my very young age, I had been naturally drawn to astrology. I don't know how, why, but I've been naturally drawn. I read a lot of books by Western astrology, and then different types of astrology, Greek, then KP, and different systems. And then finally, I sticked on to Jyotisha Shastra, which is Vedic astrology. Yeah, I'm in the southern part of Chennai, that is very close to old Mahabalipuram Road, a place called 𝗪𝗵𝘁𝘀𝗀 near 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗃. 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗃 is quite famous for IT hub and all that. So I stay there, and that's where the office is also.
Okay, and do you have any timing for the offline visit?
Okay, there are two things. I prefer online because you have today a lot of options through online, and it's also safe considering the pandemic and everything there. And also I'm a little bit located out of the city. But if somebody wants to see Prashna, there are certain kinds like Prashna, it is advised they come directly and meet. So if that is the case, they need to book prior appointment, and I only chose certain days to do Prashna, depending on the Upasana and everything there. Preferably on the weekends, I do the Prashna. So they need to fix an appointment and come directly for seeing the Prashna. The other astrology, you can see it online.
Raghuji, you're practicing this astrology since many years. So can you explain us in brief regarding your knowledge and experience in this past years?
Knowledge in the sense, like as I told earlier, I've learned under many, I was fortunate to learn under many gurus and many texts on astrology, very traditional text. And that's one of the reasons I think I've been able to accomplish a lot in the field of Vedic astrology. And another important thing is we do a lot of spiritual practices. So it also do a lot of mantra sadhana and upasana and everything. So that makes the vakasiddhi, when you predict something, becomes correct, or when you give a remedy that works out, is primarily because of the upasanas what we do. Astrology, even though we claim it is more scientific, yes, learning it is very scientific, procedural, and there is a process, but still you need to have a support in terms of upasana devata. A devata must be there to also help you out. This is what I have learned over the many years. So learning scientific astrology, Jyotish Shastra is one side. You also equally need to know, you need to have the support of a upasana devata, and then that becomes practically working out for everybody.
Okay. And what are the services that you usually give?
I give many services. One is the lot of services like marriage matching, then career advice, like whether to choose your own business or go work under somebody, then foreign, abroad, those who have the yoga to go abroad, then we see that. Then there are many other areas like counseling connected with family and relationship areas, and choosing an auspicious muhurta or a good time. So a lot of, I think almost all the Vedic astrology services which we cover. Another uniqueness of the services here is that we also do, in case you want to start some business or something like that, you wanted to choose the right brand name, color, the name and associated with your own horoscope, the strength of the planet, all those services also we provide. Something like a corporate consultancy using astrology services, like which direction should your employees sit, where should the entrance of your office be, all those services. That makes a lot of difference, and we have seen many people progressing in those once these changes have been made in that. So that's one unique service what we provide. Apart from that, we also do prashna. Prashna generally is done with, normally they do a prashna with a kind of questions that is all. Here we do it by asking the Upasana Devata. So the Devata comes in the kind of conch shell. We have a conch, a shank, and then when we rotate the shank with some Upasana mantras, and you get an answer. That's the uniqueness what I practice, and I learned it from a very a tradition which is very secretly practice this particular thing, and I was fortunate to learn from a guru who shared this particular knowledge.
Raghuji, as you mentioned about the uniqueness, I would like to ask you that how do you think your service is different or unique in a sense from others?
Yes, my uniqueness is that one is that prasna, which I told you. Yeah. Horoscope reading, not a problem. I learned it from many masters, so I know the tradition of the Eastern India. I learned from the tradition of Kerala tradition, then Tamil Nadu tradition, and different traditions I've learned astrology. And apart from that, I've also done a little bit study and research on the Western astrology. So a lot of knowledge has been, I've gathered a lot of knowledge finally into, what works out and what don't work out. So that's one thing. Second, I was fortunate to be guided by some, we call it as some, masters, ancient masters or rishis and things like that. So I had some access to learn certain knowledge from them. Third is that Upasana Devata, the prashna which we enforce, that is when we do a prashna, if somebody has a problem, you have a problem of selling a land or a property, you're not able to sell the land or property, then you come and ask, then you ask a solution for it. And then we see the prashna and what needs to be done, what remedy needs to be done if for that land has to be sold. Then we provide that particular solution. Like we take, say, 90 days time, you'll get the land sold. We are very time definite when we say something about it. It's not like just like that, say something, speculate it and leave it. We are very specific because the knowledge what we have gathered is very specific and time bound. That's the specialty of our services.
Okay. And one more thing I would like to ask, that the younger generation usually don't really believe in astrology or Vastu or numerology. They don't really believe. They think that it's a myth. So what's your opinion in this?
That's very wrong, I would say. You see, the most of the famous temples are crowded today, so people are getting religious day by day. And apart from that, the younger generation are the most frequently visited in online sites. That's where there's some study which was going on there. I think the age from 22 to 45 are the most people who visit the online for astrology consultation and everything there. So people do believe. Why do people come to an astrologer when all the other doors are closed and they wanted to know why is this happening? What is this? Then the astrologer comes into the picture. So the problems are always there, whether you're young generation or old generation. And younger generation is completely confused because they don't follow the rituals and they wanted to, come into a different lifestyle and things like that. But they also face some problems at some point of time, and then they seek advice from knowledgeable people like Jyotishis and everybody in that. So I would say still astrologers becoming famous day by day is because of the younger generation.
Okay. Yeah, Raghuji, the audiences who are watching us right now through this interview, would you like to give them some tips or message which will help them in their life?
Yes, definitely. See, everybody should understand that whatever is happening to your life, you're only responsible. It is not the Navagraha planets or anything. It is just that your own karma, what you do good or bad of different lifetimes is what is reflected in the horoscope. So it is not planets who are governing, it is your own deeds that is governing in that. So in astrology, we try to interpret the language of the grahas and the planets and then try to find your solution, what was taught to us by ancient rishis. That's how that's the message. So karma is everything.
Okay. Raghuji, there's a question. If there's so many fully matching things happening around, so then how come divorces are happening?
Excellent question. Yeah, that's what I'm exactly asking. How does, when there is a proper kundli matching happen, how does the divorce happen? It cannot happen like that. Because the kundli matching is, there are kuta points or the puruttam, they call it as in southern states. These things are only based upon certain, based on the nakshatra matching, and that is applicable on the first 3 years of marriage. Beyond 3 years, you need to have other matchings also done during the marriage match, like lagna matching. Lagna matching talks about whether whether you are, whether you, if there is a problem, whether you can sit and discuss. Lagna matching. Second is about the 7th house and 7th lord matching. From the lagna, 7th lord is taken, and if 7th, whether they have the complete common goal and objective in their life. These things are not properly matched. That's the reason whether they just put on the site and see that kundli matching or not with this kuta agreement. That's not correct. And mangal dosha matching. There are many other factors like papa samya needs to be matched, and also there is something called very elaborately, you need to also check up the prasna. Finally they see the prasna whether they can go ahead and get married. So these are the factors which most of them avoid. So that is the reason why we see a lot of divorces happen, because you're only doing one portion of the matching, which is called kundli, that is the kuta agreement. You're not seeing the other rest of the things out here. Another thing which I've observed is muhurta. Choosing the wrong muhurta and getting married. Even though everything is matching, when you choose a wrong muhurta, then also you get into a lot of problems and troubles in that. So you need to have all entire thing perfectly done. Then the marriage, have a very auspicious results in that.
Okay. Raghuji, if you have to give a small feedback for a 5 sensitivity, what will be that? Because we are really honored that we have been associated with you.
Great. You all are very aggressive in terms of right from the first contact onwards. The follow-up is fantastic, no doubt in that. I think there should be more visibility of your brand in southern states. I think you're just entering into southern states. So I think you can be still more aggressive in southern states of India. So I think that's the only tip which I need to give. Otherwise, it's fantastic because you all are very agree. You have the right attitude. You really wanted to promote people like us who are hidden behind and things like that. So that's the only thing which I wanted to give you as an advice.
Thank you so much. आज का ये इंटरव्यू रघु जी के साथ यही तक था। आप सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमारे साथ यहाँ तक बने रहने के लिए। रघु जी के सभी कॉन्टैक्ट डिटेल्स हमारे वेबसाइट में तो आपको मिल ही जाएगा, और इस वीडियो के आखिर में भी हम लोग दे देंगे। हमारे भी 5 सेंसिटिविटी के भी सभी कॉन्टैक्ट डिटेल्स हम दे देंगे इस वीडियो के एंड पे। और फिर से आप सभी का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। थैंक यू रघु जी। नमस्कार।
Thank you so much. God bless.